Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'd like to thank everyone who showed love and support for my Pyramid Head cosplay at Supernova. This tutorial was requested by fellow convention goers and I honestly didn't expect any of the love I got or the requests for a tutorial. So I don't have much of the process recorded, so I kind of had to do most of my recording recently, like this weekend. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy. The materials and tools you will need include some cardboard, a cutting mat, an X-Acto knife, high density EVA foam, 2 foam dowels of different diameters, cut and stick adhesive foam, non-slip kitchen mats, corrugated conduit, a ruler, foam mats that are typically used for workshop floors, a pencil, pen, another pen that can be easy to see when on foam, foam clay, flex bond for priming, a hot glue gun, and a lot of hot glue, googly eyes of 2 different sizes, black ink, nail polish for small parts of the build if you don't want to have to wait long for the flex bond to dry, paint, paintbrushes, silver spray paint, and contact adhesive. A scrap piece of cardboard, I drew up a pattern for the helmet before drawing and cutting it out on a thicker, stronger cardboard, which I used for the inside frame of my Pyramid Head cosplay. As you can see, I played around with the sizing and the curve on the side piece, which would sit on my shoulders. For the helmet, I was initially going to have the front frame of the front piece of my helmet, I was initially going to have these frame parts the same size all the way around, but after I did my test piece, I chose to make the back part of this frame piece thinner. Then I cut the same pieces out on foam. Because I'm still new to working with thick foam for armor, I chose to just do a straight cut and not a bevel cut when cutting my foam. Because I did a straight cut, as I was putting the pieces together, there was a big gap. I'm not sure if you can see on my finished product, but where there was a giant gap, I filled that with foam clay, and once that was dry, I covered it with a thin strip of the adhesive foam. Using this smaller triangle piece that was cut out of the frame, I used this as a guide to know how much I had to cut from my non-slip kitchen mat. I did add a 1 centimeter seam allowance, if you could say, in order to allow the mat to hold and be held when sticking it to my helmet. For my Pyramid Head cosplay, I was determined to have the ability to see. Luckily, I stumbled upon Lauren Does Cosplay. Her tutorial on Pyramid Head used wire mesh, which was genius. But for my case, I was running out of time and there was no way I'd be able to order wire mesh and have it arrive on time. So the alternative I was able to come up with, non-slip kitchen mat, which worked out perfectly. When I added the non-slip mat to my build, I noticed there was a little gap in between the cardboard and foam pieces, so I used the foam adhesive in order to fill that gap. For the screws and bolts at the back of my Pyramid Head cosplay, I used this flooring mat, I cut out 2 circles for each bolt in order to thicken it. Then I used a googly eye to look like a screw. I stuck that in the middle, and for the outside of the bolt pieces, I didn't have a tool to create my own ridges out of foam, so I just took the bumpy part that's on the inside of cardboard and I used that and hot glued it all the way around my foam circles. For the piping pieces that are on the side of the helmet, I just made a measurement of how long I wanted them to be before I cut them out, and on the ends I just basically cut pieces off my foam dowels. I basically stuck the smaller one to the bigger one in order to create the end bit. For the bottom lip pieces of my helmet, I just took my measuring tape and measured each piece individually and then just cut out foam strips. When painting my Pyramid Head cosplay, I looked at reference images from the Pyramid Head version of the helmet I chose to do, as well as looking up images of rust. For my Pyramid Head build, I painted the entire thing with a base coat of Flex Bond. The bolts and screws at the back, I used nail polish as the base. Then I sprayed the entire helmet on the outside with silver spray paint. After the spray paint was dry, I did a thin coat of black ink all over the helmet, which really helped to add a rusty look. I just continued layering all of these colours until I was happy with the outcome. Another option I have heard a lot of other cosplayers do when they want to add rust is to use cinnamon or dirt, but I had no time to do that for my build, as by the time I had finished painting, it was 2 AM. Thank you again to those who watched this video. I apologise it's not the best, since it was last minute. I am already working on my next cosplay and a tutorial for it, so hopefully that one will be much better.